I'm Dr. Jordin Wiggins, and this is the Pleasure Principles podcast. Join me on this journey where sex, science, and sensuality meet. Let's change the conversation around sex and pleasure together. Hello, Superwomen. Wanted to acknowledge where most of you are probably at right now. And that is that you feel like you're constantly holding everything together. You're pretty exhausted from the grind, from needing to show up, put out fires, fix, not just at work, but also at home too. You are people's go-to. You are the fixer. You are the person that people want on your team when things go wrong. You're always doing everything for everyone, and you never feel like you can truly relax, let go, be confident that everything will be taken care of. In your relationships, you feel unseen and unappreciated. You are not connecting with your partners, your kids. Maybe in your intimate relationships, you're struggling with mismatched libidos or feeling distant. You feel like you have a roommate, not a partner, like you've evolved and grown so much. You crave a depth that your partner is just not bringing. And let's face it, you do the work, you do what's required, you show up times 10. You've done the therapy, you've done the personal development, professional development, and your partner has not. So how is it that my clients, their partners are going to therapy? They're hiring men's coaches. They're planning vacations where they're taking care of everything from childcare to the accommodations to the travel. And they're literally just saying, pack a bag. It's interesting to compare my clients that are newer to me, getting ready to pack and go to the retreats, compared to clients that have been with me for longer. And the clients that have been with me for longer, instead of making sure that everything is ready, the schedule is clear, there's food in the fridge, the extra support is hired or flown in. Clients that have been with me longer, their partners are like, don't worry, honey, I got this. How did they get there? And that is what we are going to talk about today. Superwoman, have you said the following things or a version of this? Why can't he just do X? Why can't he just do this one thing for me? Because you give so much, and then it sucks to think like, why can't he just do this? Have you thought, if I don't do it, it won't get done? Have you told yourself that a date night is going to help? Or we just need time together or time off. We just need time to connect. Well, how does that go if we are honest? Try a date night. Try doing the holiday season when you feel this way, when you are experiencing feminine burnout. If you don't know what that is, listen to my previous episodes. There are a ton here. Feminine burnout is something that we experience when we are deficient in our yin energy, our feminine energy. It affects us physically. It affects us emotionally, where we are just not as happy as we should be. And it affects us relationally. Okay, so when our tanks are empty, when we have been overgiving, when we are just done, when we feel stuck, when we feel resentful, when we do not feel cared for and supported, it results in a fight. It results in somebody drinking too much. It results in forced checkbox sex. leaving you feeling low key disappointed and often more alone than if you even tried. So, this gaslight of, oh, well, we're just going to spend more quality time together. Please, if that was the solution to your problem, it would have worked already. So, I'm going to tell you something. You think your problem is perimenopause or menopause. You think you have a communication problem. You're lonely from being the one that takes care of it all. You think if he just goes to therapy, if he just plans a date night, takes care of the kids without being asked, insert whatever. You want to stop. You want to be able to put it all down, to be cared for, to know that things will be taken care of. But here's the truth. And there is a disclaimer, this does not apply to abusive relationships. When we have an underfunctioning partner, when we are giving so much more than we are receiving, the truth is half of the problem is us. We overgive. We do things that people don't ask us to do. And this is our superwoman conditioning, to be everything to everyone, to make sure that everyone is okay, to be the best, to give to others at the expense of ourselves. And the thing is, we can't stop. And that's the key, that if we can't stop the overgiving, that's where the problem comes in. Because when we overfunction, our partners naturally underfunction. So when we have overgiven, when we are dysregulated, we are in survival, we are in fight, flight, functional freeze for years, the pleasure centers in our brain are turned off, our tanks are empty, right? We're running on fumes. It takes so much effort and self-talk to get done what we need to get done in a day. We cannot be relational in this place. When we are coming from our brainstem, from our lizard brain, we lose our sense of self. Our pleasure centers are turned off. We cannot receive love. And this is dicey, telling a bunch of overgiving, recovering perfectionists, high achieving millionaire women that a part of the problem is her. The reason that she does not have the love, connection, sex, support, ease is because of her. Like, I've been there, and this is science. When our pleasure centers are turned off, when we are coming from our brain stem, we put conditions on our love to giving and receiving. Our partners need to meet conditions for sex. No kids home, no sex after 8 p.m., only on weekends, only if he showered. Oh, if he would only do X, everything would be okay. If he would only buy me flowers, if he would only plan the date nights. This is examples of us being in our lizard brain, our survival. When we've overgiven so much, we're so stuck. We tell ourselves stories. We tell ourselves stories about the past. We tell ourselves, like, when he said this thing 8 years ago, or our couples therapist said this, and you haven't, like, you're in the same pattern, you're in a rut. We have different beliefs around money, around gender roles. Or maybe he made a reservation, like he finally took action and made a reservation, but you're so burnt out you don't feel like going, or you don't feel like going to that type of restaurant that day. And like, I've been there. I've been there. But you cannot receive what he is trying to give, so he stops trying. Again, this does not apply to abusive relationships. So I'm going to ask you a question that I ask my clients. When have you not been able to transform a situation or achieve a goal or an outcome that you desire in your career? Very rarely, right? Because we are superwomen. We are pretty unstoppable when we set our minds to something. So, why is it that you do not have what you desire in your relationship now? Relationships are feminine led, but when we have feminine burnout, we cannot lead. I'm going to tell you something that I tell my clients. There is a 75 to 80% chance that your man is exactly who you want and need him to be. Like, you're with him for a reason. But the only way that we can be sure is if we get out of our own way. Right now, you are in the driver's seat. You are the CEO of your relationship, of your family. You are calling the shots, and you've lost respect for your partner. There is resentment because you give so much. It's like, how can he not do these little things? So we have demanded to drive. And then we're pissed that he has his feet up on the dash, gazing out the window or sleeping in the passenger seat. Or if he does drive, then we criticize. Take this route, it's faster. We have all fought to be in the driver's seat, fought to be in control, fought to fix, fought to plan ahead, because that makes us feel safe. We have told him to quit his job. And then we are pissed at the dynamic when we are supporting or out earning him. We've told him that he's doing things wrong. And the hard part is that a lot of times a superwoman is right. She is right about the faster route or the better way to do things. Like, we are so hyper vigilant at solving problems and we can see what's going to go wrong before it happens. But we can be right and overgiving, and the pleasure centers in our brain can be turned off, and we can be crusty and dry, like so significantly under supported and under fucked. So, the question I get asked, how do I get an under functioning man to step up? Well, we can ask. We can use communication frameworks and sandwich feedback. How has that worked? We can nag, we can withhold, we can cry, we can ignore, we can make underhanded comments to try and get our way. Like, I was reading an article, 50% of your plate should be vegetables. I had a great workout. Have you made it to the gym this week, or have you completed this project? We can deny, we can put our heads in the sand, focus on work. We can hang on to hope. Hope is not a strategy that is going to heal this, superwomen. Neither is denial. So there are two things that work if you want to feel cared for, seen, like you can let it all go. If you want your man to be more vulnerable, to show up, to take the lead, to plan, if you crave to be taken during sex. And the first thing is, you need to get out of the driver's seat. Now, this requires letting go, surrendering, a level of self-trust that you do not currently have. You've gotten to your levels of success by outworking, doing, forcing at times, making the impossible happen. Now, this comes from our lizard brain, from our survival mode, from our fight, flight, functional freeze. This is not you in your power. This is you yin deficient, burnt out, stuck. This is what I teach my private clients. And I have one private coaching spot left for 2024. So if you want to feel more fulfilled, less resentful, cared for, poured into by the holidays, 3 months private coaching with me, hands on. If you know you're supposed to be happy, happier, everything looks good from the outside, you've lost yourself, you don't know how to get back to feeling like alive, connected, you're sick of the circular arguments, there's something that you just can't quite figure out, and you've done You've done the work, you've hired the practitioners, the therapists, and it hasn't quite landed, and my work speaks to you, head to the show notes, fill out an application, and apply. Let's have you feeling happy, connected, cared for this holiday season. And the second way that you can work with me right now is the Pleasure Mastery Mentorship. There is pre-work to start now. We officially start end of January 2025. And I teach you how to stop feeling like you have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, how to do less, feel more, fill your pleasure tank, and learn how to be relational. Instead of trying to fix everything, you can reconnect with yourself and your relationship in a way that feels so good to you. You become a joy to give to. And yes, you're going to learn some techniques. We had an impromptu blowjob training at the retreat. It did involve a cucumber. And the feedback from the partners was that it was worth every penny because they had the best blowjob of their life. But that is a piece. Okay, this is a piece. We're teaching relational prowess that you did not realize it could be this good. There's a overwhelming chance, 75 to 80% chance that your man is the man that you always wanted him to be all along. My clients are healing. Their relationships with their children are healing. Their relationships with their parents are healing. And we are doing this in a community of highly curated women where the superwomen in my community say they have never felt this seen or supported before. The women in this room know me better than anyone on the planet, and they are an invaluable resource. And when I think of the women that I get to work with, these women that have so much success, so much to offer the world, they're, for the most part, low-key killers. They're quietly shaking the world with the difference that they're making. I'm just so honored to get to work with women of this caliber. The number 2 way that we get an underfunctioning man to step up is to focus on you. Turn the pleasure centers on in your brain. Fill your pleasure tank. Because we are repellent when we are empty, no matter what anyone does. It's never enough. It never feels like enough. It will feel good for a minute and then it dissipates. When you focus on you, when your pleasure centers are turned on, you are rich, happy, magnetic. Your man is falling over himself to give to you. This does not get better when you leave it alone. It gets worse. And it is time to admit that you can't do this alone. And that is okay. This heals in community. This heals with support. So I want you to head to the show notes to apply. Do you want to know what it's like to feel cared for, to let it all go, to let it be easy? I cannot wait to get your text messages. My husband hired a coach. My husband planned a trip. My husband took care of things. We just had the best sex of our lives. Things feel so easy and aligned now. I finally feel happy, content, easeful. If you want that to be you, head to the show notes and apply. Can't wait to chat. Have a great week, everybody. If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.